Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I got a great interview for you today. As you know, we're doing a series interviewing folks who went to the Grant Cardone's 10X Growth Conference. And today I have with me Ben Precious. How you doing this morning, Ben?
That's right. Hey, doing good, man. Thanks for the introduction.
Yeah, great. Why don't you first off just tell us who you are, what you do, and you got a gorgeous background there. So tell us where you're at.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, I was at the 10X Growth Conference. The name's Ben. I run one of the top 10 agencies out of Los Angeles. We do social media marketing, stuff like that. It's a full service agency. I've been building it up over the last couple of years now. And yeah, like you said, I was at the Growth Conference last week. I'm currently in the Dominican Republic right now. We just flew out of Miami a few days back to come down here with the team. So we're just kind of doing some laptop lifestyle kind of stuff. We got a villa, all just working and doing our follow up from the conference. It's going great.
That's awesome. So as I'm doing these interviews, I always like to talk to folks about when you saw the event coming up and all of that, what made you say yes, and what were kind of your expectations going in before you ever showed up?
For sure. So I was actually at the Growth Conference last year in Las Vegas. And that was the first one I went to. So I had a great experience there. I met a lot of great people. But kind of, I worked this one a little bit differently. I remember the last one, I was actually sat in my seat most of the time, taking a lot of notes from speakers because it was my first real time going to a conference. Whereas this time, to be honest, I only used my seats out of the whole free. I want to grow my business out of this rather than gain more knowledge, if that makes sense. So yeah, well, I was just going around with my guys. We were taking business cards, making connections. We've made some awesome relationships. And the speakers were great. I did manage to catch a couple of those, but it was more just from the sidelines while networking. So that's kind of what I found was best for me.
That's awesome because again, you can go to these events and you've done both, right? You could sit in your seats
Sure.
and kind of just absorb the wisdom from the people speaking, which is great, right? Lots of notes. I can only imagine your notebook. Or you can use it as a networking event because
Sure.
something for certain. The
Right.
people that are there are like-minded, right? Everybody may come doing
Exactly.
something
Exactly.
different. But given what you do, I can only imagine, what the follow-up and activities are going to be because again, everybody needs a social media strategy and everybody
Right.
my age, we're decades apart, I'm sure, needs that help.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about some of the folks? You don't have to give names, but I'm sure you met lots of people you can help. Some of
Sure.
those stories would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole bunch of people throughout the whole 3 days. I've got no idea how many connections I made, but it was a lot of people. And the great thing is, I remember from the last Growth Conference, even though I sat in my seat most of the time, again, the people there are all like-minded. So these are the exact kind of people you want to be doing business with. So, you're already on the same page in the terms of mindset, which is so handy in the terms of, trying to figure stuff out with people. So yeah, really to kind of name a few things. Actually, I leveraged the Facebook group quite a bit. And again, I did that last year too, and it really helped me in that whenever the speakers were doing their thing on stage, I'd be in the Facebook group making posts, setting up meetings and whatnot. So that's something we did a lot of. And again, like you say, everyone needs this social media stuff. So with me having a full service agency, we can pretty much do anything in the online space. So when we're going around talking to people, it was a simple case of, and Graham talks about this a lot too, is, what's the main problem someone's having, right? The main question I was really going around asking people was, what's the main problem you have right now in regards to online marketing? And then I, tailor the conversation and steer it in the right direction to what I can do for them. So really a popular one was a lot of people needed websites. I think a lot of people have maybe dropped off on that. I know Russell Brunson was talking about the whole ClickFunnels thing. So I bounced off of that quite a bit. That's something we offer. But yeah, a lot of great guys, all amazing people.
Yeah. I'm always curious, first off, obviously Grant does a great show. He jumps out of an airplane and sort of skydives,
Right.
just to start off, right? And it goes from there. But
Great.
as far as the speakers go, do you have one that kind of jumped out at you that really resonated either at this event or the one previous?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually thought Steve Harvey was really interesting. Simply because that guy, he's not a typical business guy. I got stuff flying everywhere here. Yeah, Steve Harvey was really interesting. He's not like your typical business guy. So, he's more into TV and whatnot, not really in the entrepreneur space. So, to see his take on things was actually really interesting. And kind of the angles he took on, where he goes with money and that kind of thing. So I found him super interesting. Yeah, simply just because of the angles he had on things and not coming from the entrepreneurial background, I guess. So that was really cool. Ty Lopez is always great. I love it when he brings the websites up on stage. That's awesome. He does that. I think he did that at the last one too. So that was really cool to see. I mean, all the speakers were amazing, but I think, yeah, the main ones that stuck out for me was Steve Harvey and Ty Lopez.
Very, very cool. And again, you've talked about bringing the team with you. Some people we talk to, it's like, to them, maybe to them and their wife, right? But it seems like you brought a team. So this was a significant investment for you and your company. Just curious, how many folks?
Those 4 was just going around and all my sales guys.
Yeah, of course. And, so you're in the event, it starts off with a bang. Did you see kind of an organization from day to day? Like, was day 1 inspiration, day 2 was kind of big dreams, and day 3 was execution, or did the days not look like they synced?
For sure, yeah. I think there was definitely organization to it. Although I got to be honest, like I said, I was only in my seat for 20 minutes, so I wasn't really, diving into that stuff. So for me, it was more like every day was pretty much the same thing in that, I'm going out there and I'm looking to make connections. That was, I guess, like my main goal from this thing. But otherwise, from what I did see and from what I did hear from the stage and what other people were saying, I'd say there was some, good organization there.
Yeah.
And again, bouncing off the last one, I think they did it fairly similar where, one day was sales, one marketing. I know a lot of people were super happy with, I think it was John Maxwell. I think he was on the marketing day. So from what I heard, I think it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard he's gotten the most, I don't know if we want to call it press or whatnot, at least in my small circle. So very, very cool. So, now that you're at, post event, I got to ask, would you do it again? Would you bring 4 people? Would you bring less? Would you bring more? Now that you're looking at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Next year we're going to all go for diamond tickets. Because I think that's something I wanted to touch on actually. I know a lot of people had the general admission. I'm sure like the floor seating, right? I'm not sure how many people actually sat on the floor, but majority were like up in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was in the ambassador group, right? So I had the ambassador ticket, which would have meant I would have been sat in one of the stands. But pretty much last minute, I decided to upgrade to VIP.
Okay.
And that's probably the best decision I made because having access to that floor area where, all the other people in VIP are, because those are the guys you want to be talking to because they're already up there. And the fact that floor area was like exclusive just for networking and no one else could get down to that was so valuable. And you can get around the back and have the food and whatnot. So yeah, I think that's one of the best things. If you're going to these events, make sure you go for the higher tickets and get around the right people. And not that, people in the stands weren't the right people, but it's like, you can be around people that are almost on your level almost, and network with those guys. I think that's so powerful. And having that exclusive area to do that too was really good. So that's one of the main things I kind of noticed. But next year, we'll absolutely do it again. We're all going to go for diamond tickets next time and just, go for that top level. So yeah, 100% we'll do it again.
Oh, that's great advice. I had not thought about that. That's just like self-selection. Right? You're sort of qualifying, exactly. It's sort of like country clubs, right? If you go to the country club, everybody can stroke that check or whatever you want to call it. So I think that's pretty fantastic. So
For sure.
Very valuable. He's doing it again. You got to upgrade your tickets. I think this has been great. Any last takeaways or anything else you want to share? Kind of last minute wisdom.
Sure. Yeah, I would say if you guys go to the next one, because I went to the one in Vegas, right? So a lot of the stuff you hear on stage, it's great. It gets you motivated. It gets you going. But I would say the most valuable thing about going to these events is being up out of your seat. Pay for the good seats so you get around the right people, but then be up and out and networking and growing your business because that's the only way to do it by actually talking to people. And the content the speakers provide is amazing. I think if this is your first conference, absolutely take the seat, take all the notes. But if it's your second one, maybe even third one, a lot of the stuff you've heard on stage, even though it's very valuable, it's nothing you can't find online or pay for somewhere else, or maybe even heard before, but slightly reworded. I mean, it'll get you motivated, but it's not going to directly grow your business. So I would say if you go to the next one and you were at this one, you know, be up and around networking. That's what I found most valuable. And if you're going to do that, once the conference, you know, wraps up, what I've done is I've given it about a week so that everyone can get settled back down. And now I'm doing all my follow-up, and I'm on the phone pretty much every day this week, just following up with people and making those connections real, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's what I got. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben, I think this has been awesome because again, what you're showing is you need to have your goal going in, right? So if it's the first conference or you just kind of figure it out, get the seat, get the cheap tickets and just absorb, take your notes, you get inspired and all of that. But when you're ready to grow your business and network, use the event because it's like-minded individuals, use the ticket tiering to make sure you get around the right people. And most importantly, create the action plan after the event, right? And
exactly. That's it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, I want to make sure I turn this over to you so you can give your company a plug, name it, how they get a hold of you, what you offer. Please go ahead, Ben. This has been great. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Yeah. So my company's called Pace Social Media. The website is pacemediasolutions.com. When this thing goes live, I can drop a comment in there too with the link to it. You can reach me on 310-601-8179. And my email address is ben@pacemediasolutions.com. Like I said in the beginning, we're a full service agency, so we can pretty much figure anything out in the online space, from websites, Facebook marketing, lead generation, SEO, content, whatever it is, we're your guys, we can figure it out. So get in contact and we'll figure something out for you.
That's been great, Ben. Give your number one more time.
It's 310-601-8179.
Excellent. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for jumping on the call from the Dominican. That's pretty cool. I appreciate it and have a great day.
You got it.
Thanks.
Thank you.